Please put your hands together for Jessica Regan.
So I guess the last storyteller isn't eligible for the costume contest, which is fine, because in full disclosure, I don't know what classic rock looks like, and Google wasn't helpful, so I ended up with dress and boots, but got cold, so put on a jacket that makes me look like a British soldier from Hamilton. So that's just what we were going with today. That's where we're at. Thank you. So the theme, under pressure, it is my understanding that perhaps women in society may feel under pressure to have children. I say that without a lot of confidence because I don't actually know that to be true, but it's what I've heard and it's what you can see on TV if you look for it, that somebody partners up and the first thing the mother asks is, when are you giving me a grandchild, or pressure from peers that are going through that stage in life and that sort of thing, that there may be this expectation. And I'm fine with that, I think, not because I think people should be shoulded into doing what they don't necessarily want to do, but that I had always had that expectation for myself as a young girl growing up. If you had asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up, my first answer would have been a mom, and then I would have thought about the other things that would have been more the answer that people were expecting in terms of career or whatever. But I had always seen myself as becoming a mom, and so that expectation and that perhaps pressure didn't really bother me. And so last month I told a story about, I think a few summers ago, really feeling kind of stuck at the end of a script where I had done all the things I was supposed to do by age 30, but it ended up without kids, and mentioned infertility as a piece of that. And so just wanted to talk a little bit more about that process and what the past 10 years of marriage have looked like for us, because we were very much expecting that you get married and you have kids and it's easy and it's wonderful and it's just how things work. And so we had tried for many years after we had first gotten married and found that things weren't happening, but that's okay, that's normal. And so we still had that expectation there that this would all work out. A few years into our marriage, we sought help, and we went and saw a medical professional, and we did testing, and the fertility specialist that we had talked to essentially said, you can give up that expectation. Based on your test results, you shouldn't expect to conceive. And in fact, the numbers are such that it doesn't really even make sense to try to go the medical intervention ways that some people can go about trying to have kids that way. And so we let go of that expectation, but not the hope, right? Because people get that kind of news and miracles happen every day. And sometimes when you just let go of the pressure and you just live your life, things happen. So we continue to live our lives hoping, though not expecting, that children would be part of our family and future together. And years went on, and that didn't happen. And slowly but surely, I think we had come to a place where we were really starting to accept that and start to imagine more purposefully what will our life look like without kids. And I started to really embrace the benefits of not having kids, such as having the money and the freedom and the sleep and the travel and all of the really great things that can go along with a child-free lifestyle. And, started looking around, and my attitude towards children had changed, and I'm sure part of that was because we couldn't and didn't have any. But gosh, they're annoying, and gosh, they're needy, and gosh, they're loud, and started to, be that person that when a new baby came through for an office visit, I don't need to hold the baby, that's fine. Congratulations, I'm sure your kid is great. I get how they're necessary for continuation of society and all of these things, but they're just not for me. But hey, congratulations, really happy for you. I have to admit, I was that friend that withdrew when peers and friends were having kids and focusing their lives on their children, as they very well should, right? And became that person that identified very proudly, in fact, as a dink. So as we were doing like identity conversations at work and thinking about which identities are most salient and important, that dual income, no kids was a really big part of that. And there are dink communities and groups of couples that like to do fun things that they feel like they can do because they don't have children in their life. So got to meet some really great folks that way. And a friend of mine in that group was very clear to clarify that dink and pre-kids are two very different things. And so this is a purposeful decision that you're making, and you are really fully embracing that 100%. And so that's where we've been. And then, so part of that, again, child-free lifestyles, being able to travel on a whim and go places for long amounts of time. So we just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary this fall. To celebrate, we did a 2-week trip through Europe. We went to Paris, and we went to Amsterdam, and we went to Belgium, and it was great. And I came back from that trip and like, yeah, it was great. Recognizing like the privilege that it sounds like I carry when it's like, yeah, Europe, it was fine. We did all the touristy things, and we went to the places, and we ate the food, and yeah, it was good. And how do I want to say this? The thing that I think we brought back from Europe is something that we very much weren't expecting. And I stand here tonight telling you all of these stories from the past 10 years of our marriage and the stages that we've been through, 3 months pregnant. And that was a result of that Europe trip. Thank you. And again, being out of that normal environment and being without the pressure of this is something that we're hoping and expecting and people around us are expecting of us, ultimately, I think, resulted in a miracle, and a miracle that we had always wanted, always hoped for, always dreamed of, and had come to a place where we realized perhaps was never going to be or meant to be. And here we are. So that's, I think, the ways that I've changed since then have been unbelievable in the way that I look around at the world around me. And I see people in a crowd and I think, you were a baby once, you came from a person. I wonder what that was like for you as a baby growing, and I wonder what that was like for your parents and how they felt when they found out and what that process was like for them. And I hear people tell their stories and I think, that's going to be me. I'm going to be a parent, and I'm going to have those stories, and I'm going to have those moments. Tyson was talking last month about the transformation of the words that his father told him, that you're the best thing that ever happened to me, and how he then shared that with his daughter. And you hear things in a different way, and you start to really see yourself in that. And for me, at least, it's been just completely profound in the way that I think about people and I notice things, and it's been really neat. And Marty, I love you. You said that fatherhood you imagine to be the end of your life. For me, this is just the beginning, and I really can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.